Okay, so Fantasy Island is, for those who don't know, is based on the original TV series from 1977. Well, it was actually 2 movies first, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Hello. No one's... I mean, I did know that, but no one's pointed that out but you. Okay.
Research.
Hello.
It's obviously because it's Blumhouse, there's a slightly darker edge to it.
Totally.
For you, was there that kind of, having to give some respect to the series that has come before?
Definitely. And I think that there was an ode to that in the writing, which was good. And having the Ricardo Montalban character, played by Michael Pena, come back. And Michael had all these things that he had studied that Ricardo had done that he wanted to really owe to the original audiences who knew and loved the series. But inside of the world that people know, I think that they managed to create a very different world. As you say, Blumhouse coming in gives it a darker edge and something else that's going to twist and turn for you. So we were able to create these new characters within an old existing world. And that was fun because you got to draw in different audiences for this. And so that's what we were trying to do.
Exactly. Bring it like a fresh new...
like your parents and then their grandchildren. You're like, oh God, how do we do this? Yeah.
You play Gwen as well, who's one of the residents on the island.
Yeah.
She's, shall we say, she's dealing with her own demons,
Totally.
obviously. But I think she's one of the most switched on out of the guests.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's okay.
I think people who go through pain are hyper aware.
Yes.
Yeah.
For you, did it feel like, even though her story does take a bit of a twist, is that a kind of therapy for her to get those demons out?
Yes. I mean, no one said that. You're so right, because by the time they get off, by the time they, are able to look back on everything that's happened, you do feel a lifting for her. You actually do, because 2 things come out for her in this movie, obviously, that mix in with regret. Obviously, one much more serious than the other in terms of the consequence. But sometimes it's like when you have an issue and you talk about it and you feel better. Yeah. It's like that on steroids, you kind of have to, right? Because it's in the keeping to ourselves the things that hurt us that don't allow us to let them go. Because people and situations can help us through them, but we have to allow for that.
The story is embedded in the characters, so for each of their fantasies, the horror feels organic, so it doesn't feel forced.
Oh, thank you.
When you were reading the script, was there any of the stories for you that scared you, that terrified you?
It was terrifying what happened to the boys who got their fantasy at the party, because you sort of, become something very different, obviously, just in terms of the chase factor and who's looking for them and why. But I have to say, it really touched me the way that Austin's character is really looking for that redemption in the man that he lost. Yeah. And being faced with that and having a love for this person and not being able to believe that they're in front of you again. That person that you had longed for all this time. Yeah. That resonated with me, because I think that, in terms of that very complicated relationship with parents and children, that was a nice theme to have in the film, because a lot of people do have that.
Yeah, exactly. These fantasies and the horror from it are actually, like I said, it's organic. So it could actually, these things are real.
They're very real. Yeah, I find that the characters are rooted in real emotion and situationally. These are things that we all kind of go through. So I think people can kind of pick and choose what it is that bothers them the most. I think maybe the younger viewers will appreciate Lucy Hale's storyline, with her, the girl who tortured her in school and all of that. Or older people who never forgot that will relate to it. Yeah.
And for you, it's like, it's quite a silly question, really.
Yeah. Love it. Bring it.
What kind of fantasy would you have that could ultimately turn into a complete nightmare?
I've always had dreams. I'm an animal rights activist, and whenever I see any kind of, when I see injustice, I want to be that. I just want to be that. I want to be a liberator. I want to have the balaclava and be out there and be that superhero who's freeing them from all of that. But that would involve a lot of chaos. When I was like opening the doors on zoos all over the place, and so I think that would be a fantasy that would probably turn a little messy. That would be...
I think this world needs it.
But we need it, don't we?
Yeah.
That kind of chaos I can deal with. I feel like
Exactly.
there's chaos right now that we kind of can't. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for your
Thank
time.
you so much. Thank you for the questions. It's really lovely to meet you as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yeah.
Nice.
Hey,